Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on 2007 movie First Strike Optimus Prime. Now, as you can see, this guy is movie Optimus Prime in G1 Optimus Prime's colors. Now, that is just awesome. I mean, we got the red front bit, and we got the blue, where the trailer would go. But as we know, movie Prime didn't really have a trailer until Dark of the Moon. And we also have the silver lining on the side that G1 Prime usually has. So this is just a straight up homage to G1 Optimus Prime. Why we had this over flames? I guess Michael Bay just thought flames were cooler. But before we have a look at the figure fully, something amazing. Here's the box. A bit battered, yes, but that's why I got it. This was sealed, but the box was damaged, so that's why I thought, well, if it was mint, then it really had the value, but the box is damaged, so why not? But as you can see, this is the more European release of the figure. So instead of having the character's head here, we instead just have a picture of the figure. Here we have the name First Strike Optimus Prime. Probably another reference to G1 because, you know, G1 was the first Transformers series. States that he's an Autobot. Here you can see that's quite a weird shape because we have this curve on the side. All spark power. Got all these twisty ties that I had to cut. Got the all spark in there. If we have a look at the back, we can see look at the figure in robot mode. Oh, I knocked the box by accident. Unfortunately, even though the vehicle mode is quite G1 accurate in colors, the robot mode isn't really G1 accurate in colors. You'll see what you got there. But here we have a bio. I'll just let you read that because I just think it's a bit weird. And here we have a advertisement for Off-Road Ironhide, which is just Ironhide but in blue. I've already reviewed the original Ironhide figure, so yeah, I don't know if I'll get this or not. Maybe to display it in vehicle mode, I don't know. But I'm not sure if Off-Road Ironhide's meant to be an homage to anything. Maybe a G2 GoBot, but yeah. Here we can see the Automorph technology, which I'll show you during the transformation. Underneath where we have all this. Oh, and here we have the Transformers Collectors Club, which is no longer in service. Nowadays, we've got Generation Selects. And let's be honest, I think Generation Selects is sort of a successor to the Collectors Club. Oh, well, figure-wise at least. But before I go off on a tangent, let's have a look at the actual figure. Well, as I said earlier, this is just movie Prime in G1 Prime's colors. Well, vehicle mode wise at least. And this was during the first movie, way before Bumblebee, when almost every character was based on their G1 namesake. So this shows that even during the first movie, or at least during the toy line, there were characters homaging their G1 selves, or at least figures. Well, let's have a look at this. Right in here, we can see, well, looks like a little character. And it looks like he's wearing a cowboy hat. I'm pretty sure that's actually meant to be Peter Cullen, who, well, come on. We all know who Peter Cullen is. Optimus Prime's voice actor. So the fact that we have an homage to him in this figure is pretty cool. And we actually do have a gimmick here. If we open this, which, well, I'm not sure if I'll be able to show this because my finger's going to get in the way. But if you open the door here, the little Peter Cullen figure actually disappears. So that's pretty cool. And then when you close it, he reappears, which is a really cool gimmick. If we have a look in the back, well, we can see a whole bunch of blue because if we remember, G1 Prime's back section was blue in vehicle mode. The other side, which unfortunately is a bit broken up on my figure because, well, this bit doesn't really tap together that well on my copy. I don't know why. Well, let's just keep it on this side, just so we don't have to look at this. Let's just say it's battle damage. Now, another gimmick that this figure has is, well, if we take the smokestacks here, well, we can actually transform them, as you can see here. And they can transform into straight up missile launchers. So now Prime's taking after the Rhino vehicle for a mask. And let's just shoot at my hands instead of the camera. So yeah, these don't actually shoot, it's more these shoot out, but, well, you could imagine that these are shooting like lasers if you use your imagination. And, well, these, they are missiles, so not much to say here, so let's just get them back in. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Especially seeing how, as I said, this is sort of like the Rhino vehicle for Mask, because that had the smokestacks form guns. Now, these can also detach, although that's more for the robot mode, which we'll get into soon. And I'm just going to transform these back because I do have one comparison to make. Here he is with the original movie Prime. So, as you can see, this guy has flames, this guy has nostalgia. And, well, this guy's actually a Leader class figure, this guy is a Voyager class figure. And, well, if you... sorry, I'm just getting distracted because, well, it's hot where I live right now. If you can't afford this figure, well, if you couldn't afford this figure back in the day, but you still wanted Prime with the Flames, this guy was a recolor of a Voyager class movie Prime figure. So, yeah. Of course, I chose the Leader Prime figure because this is the most accurate to the actual movie character, or at least as you could get from the actual 2007 movie line. of course, when Revenge of the Fallen came out, we got a way more accurate figure. I'm not going to get him out for a comparison because, well, I'm just sticking to the original movie figures. Now, if I had an actual G1 Prime, then I'd also get him for a comparison, but, well, let's just say people sell them for a lot of money on eBay, so yeah, I don't have a G1 Prime yet, unfortunately. So, but my next review is going to be a G1 Prime figure. You're just gonna have to stay tuned. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about the vehicle mode. I mean, I do really like it. I mean, the underneath just shows the arms and nothing else for kibble. So this is a really cool vehicle mode, especially the First Strike version here, because, you know, it's got the G1 colors. So let's just get to the transformation, eh? And, well, if you remember my review on the Leader Class movie Prime, then you know how that transforms. Because this would be the feet, this would be the arms, this would be the chest windows. Well, this guy transforms differently. Let's just get to the transformation and I'll show you what I mean. Well, to start, let's transform the smokestacks into the gun modes, and then actually remove them. Yes, it's parts forming, but at least it's weapons parts forming, because these do form actual guns for the robot modes. So yeah, just remove the smokestacks. So now you're left with this. Now, come in here, take this section, and just lift all that, like so. Split this. Take the little wheelbase section and just accordion that. Now, this is actually pretty cool. Well, take this section and just push that through. That pushes the foot out. You see this little section that's gonna peg into there. And with the foot, you get the heel outs because there's a little divot here that you get your thumb into. And that's the entire leg. Not entirely blue like G1 Prime, unfortunately, so this is where the G1 resemblance comes to an end, unfortunately. But we do the same with the other leg. Getting the heel out is a bit tricky, unfortunately. But I've just managed, thankfully. There we go. Get the arms, untap them, get them from underneath here, take these little bits and move them, get these out. No, it's going to be a bit hard to try and show this. Well, what I'm going to do is yeah, you see, it's so hard that I'm slurring my words. What I'm going to do now is push this, and that creates a little faux chest. Rotate this entire section so the arms can actually, also the shoulders can actually show this little blue section. Rotate this little bit, and this can come off, so just be careful of that. Okay, if I could just... Yeah, it's gonna be a bit hard to try and show this, but do the same on the other side. Get the head out, and then with this entire section, you untab the entire front grille section, and just according that, like so. And here we have First Strike Optimus Prime in his vehicle, not vehicle mode, robot mode. Now, this is really cool. Even if the G1 resemblance is slightly less, well, visible because, you know, the legs are more red than blue, this is still really cool looking. Now, as you can see, I have to have my camera all the way back because he's pretty tall. I mean, if this was a leader figure, then I'd have to get somebody to stand my camera, but, well, he's tall enough that, well, I have to have my camera back, but at least I don't need somebody to stand my camera, so at least that's a upside. Now, having a 360, well, we can see that he has quite the backpack, which is, I guess, a bit of a downside to this figure. Look at the head. We can see that that's definitely Prime's head. I'm pretty sure we've got, yep, he's got light piping. Now with these weapons, well, as I showed, these can't fire. And I just lost that, so if you'll just excuse me while I find that. Okay, managed to actually find it, thankfully. But yeah, so Prime can hold these weapons, although it's a bit different from how other figures hold weapons, because he has this little thing on his arm, which this plugs into. Well, this goes into his open hand. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show this. There we go. So yeah, Prime's weaponry consists of smokestack missile launchers. Yeah, I think arm swords are way cooler, to be honest. But, well, what do you think is cooler? These or this? So, let's actually compare these two in robot mode. Well, aside from the colors, which, well, of course, there is the actual movie-colored Voyager figure if you want a more fair comparison with the colors. But I'm going to compare them with robot mode design. Well, of course, as we saw, this guy transforms differently because, well, the grill ends up as a backpack instead of feet. The windows end up on his back instead of on his chest. Sorry, it's just I'm feeling really warm right now. Summer can be really fun at times, but it can also be really brutal when it comes to the temperature. So that's why I'm just having trouble getting my words out. But as I was saying, the truck windows are on this guy's back. Well, on this guy they're on his chest. Well, on this guy he has faux windows for his chest. The back wheels are here, whereas on this guy, they're actually on his hips. Well, they're just on his legs. I don't know what part of the legs that is. They're on his thighs. There we go. Whereas on this guy, they're just hanging off the back. I realized I forgot to actually sort of. I forgot to sort of. Well, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot to do the little hinge on that bit, but it's fine for now. I just want to get through this video before I melt away. And I think the most drastic thing is the back bit between the grill and the wheelbase forms this guy's legs and this guy's arms. So yeah, quite a number of differences on account of these guys having two completely different transformations. I have no idea why their transformations are different. Maybe this was like a prototype design. I don't know. A prototype design for the movie character that they use for the Voyager figure. They just couldn't replicate the actual transformation, so they just freestyled or improvised. I don't know. But it's still fun nonetheless. So, which one do I prefer? I still prefer this guy, but this guy still has a really cool alternate mode, so he still gets points for that. Now, to finish this video off, the articulation. Well, his head, it's tight, sort of, but he can move his head from left to right. The arms, of course, can move 360. If you get the shoulder pads out of the way, he can T-pose. So he can T-pose, either with that joint. Oh, he dropped his weapons. I'll just remove them for this. So either with this joint, or with this joint if you want him to be a bit higher. There's nothing at the waist. The legs can go forward. They can go back. Of course, you can do the splits. These can swivel. Got knees. And the legs can move. Oh, well, the feet can move is what I'm trying to say, sorry. So, yeah, pretty poseable. But, well, as you can see, this arm's a bit loose, so... And he can drop his weapons a little bit easily, so I have to be a bit careful while posing him. But, well, that's pretty much it for this guy. So, complaints? Well, this guy has a really G1 accurate alternate mode when it comes to the colors. When it comes to the robot mode, yeah, it kind of falls apart because G1 Prime normally has blue for the legs. Due to this guy's transformation, it kind of it doesn't really work that well because this guy mainly has red legs. He does have a bit of blue here, so I guess that kind of makes up for it, but still. I guess another complaint is the huge backpack that he has. That's a bit of a distraction. Now, my last complaint is, well, he can actually drop his weapons pretty easily if you're messing about with him. It's a bit inconsistent, but he can drop them if you're not careful. Now, thankfully, if you don't want them holding the weapons, they can still go on these bits here, which I forgot to show, and I guess they could actually function as mini-comp ports if you wanted to. I haven't tried that, and I don't think I will anytime soon, but you're welcome to try if you want to. But well, those are my complaints. So, do I recommend this figure? Well, that's hard to say, because the leader figure is just so much better in my opinion. It looks better, it's more accurate, the transformation's way cooler. Plus, the kibble on that figure is just way more manageable. Because, well, the leader figure, the only kibble I can even see is these bits here, and that's way smaller than the backpack on this guy. So, I would say, I'd say it's up to you. I mean, I guess it sounds like I'm just saying, only if you want to, like I do with figures I don't really like, but I'd say, I guess it really depends on what version of this mold it is. If it's the standard Voyager version, then, well, maybe just go with Leader Prime. If it's First Strike Optimus, well, if you're a huge G1 fan, then, well, why'd you be buying movie figures in the first place? But if you're a huge Transformers fan, then, well, sure, go ahead with this mold, but this version of the mold. If it's the standard Voyager version, maybe just go with the leader figure. If it's the RTF Voyager version, I don't really know. But I'd say my favorite version of the Voyager Prime mold from this toy line has got to be this guy. So, if I was to recommend any version of this mold, it would be this version, First Strike Optimus Prime. Well, this is it for my. I can't even speak now. My tongue just melted. Well, this is it for my horribly done review for First Strike Optimus Prime, and this is Charlie Young signing off. And I promised, next review is actually going to be a G1 Prime figure. Not the actual G1 Prime figure, but the character, I mean. You'll see when I upload it.